Hey everyone, it's Matt, aka Tech Ranger, and today we're going to be taking a look at my first load order post storage space increase for Fallout 4 on the Xbox. And there's quite a few new additions to this one. I actually had to stop myself because I recorded half the footage in this video already, and I just wanted to add more things. So there'll be another version of this, but we're going to go through it in sections in this video. And then at the end of the video, I'll go through the list in game, and then there'll be a spreadsheet in the description, like always, with the list itself and links to those mods on Bethesda.net. If you enjoy the video, leave a like down below, and if you have any questions, drop a comment down below. And with all that, let's take a look at my list and what's changed in Fallout 4. First thing I wanted to do is go over a few things that I tried when making this list. So to start off this section, I figured we look at weather mods. What you'll see here is deadlights, and then also true storms and the patches that go along with that. I was also using clarity, and if you think that was a lot to kind of throw at your game, it definitely could be. In fact, you might start to lose some frames. There's some really cool visuals, but I think the majority of what you're seeing is deadlights anyway. Obviously, true storms is probably not going to show up unless there's actual weather going on, like weather effects, but deadlights has that stuff as well. So I'm not sure if it's needed, but because there is a patch now that allows true storms to work with deadlights, it's worth a shot if you were using something like true storms before and wanted to check out this too. So because of the performance hit that I saw, I just ended up using deadlights and that's it. And I didn't experience the same type of frame drops that I had with true storms. The contrast of what I would want from the game, the colors pop, sunsets, sunrises look great. When it's rainy and dark out, I think this strikes a good balance when you have some weather going on, maybe a thunderstorm or some rain, to give things a little bit more texture so you can actually see what's going on. You're definitely going to see some really dark areas with deadlights, but for the most part, I really like the way this looks. As far as interior lighting goes, I'm sticking with Interiors Enhanced 2.0, more so because I think it's a good balance between actually being able to see inside a building, but it's not like there's going to be any artificial light, those shadows are still going to be there. You could definitely use deadlights for both, but I like seeing the mix of the two working together. So I removed that, and that does tidy this section up in the list. And obviously, with Interiors Enhanced 2.0, some areas are going to look better than others compared to Deadlights interiors. I think this scene is interesting because you can really see how much the light affects the environment, whether you use one or the other. That's pretty much it for the lighting and weather changes I made in my list, but now let's take a look at some texture mods. The first major change with textures in my list is actually the landscape textures. I landed on the aptly named landscape texture overhaul, and this covers pretty much everything in the game, and it's a mixture of 2K and 1K textures. There is a version of this that has 4K textures, and that is split up into 3 different mods. I only tried the 1K and 2K version. That didn't include road and pavement textures, so there's a separate mod for that. These are really high quality textures, and these do look really good, but for the main mod itself, I noticed when going to Bunker Hill that there was this weird texture that would appear on the ground and then go away as I went over it. That could just be my list in general, maybe it was conflicting with stuff that I've used in the past on this save, but I wanted to try something else, so I used the targeted textures and then paired that with the Valis texture pack, and with that I wanted to up the Greenery game, so I added Velt, which was a suggestion from you all. This is going to add a lot more variety to plants across the game. We'll actually have different fauna and stuff like that. I did notice some frame rate drops with Velt, and that's probably because there's just a ton of extra grass, so I may remove this at some point, but I do really like the look of it. A couple updates on DefUI as well as the animation mod that I'm using. DefUI Core NG is the one that you want to use if you want to use any presets, and unfortunately the older presets, they'll give you this weird bracket whenever you go into third person. There's actually a couple new ones, and I'm sure there's probably more on the way, but if you look at the description of these mods, you'll actually see DefUI Core NG in them, so that's a good indication that these work with that particular version of DefUI Core. I'm using this No XP one, which is kind of based on the Oil Stir preset, if you're familiar with a lot of those old DefUI plugins. There was another one, aptly named another DefUI preset. The thing with these couple that I've looked at is that you're not going to get pop-ups for notifications of getting XP or going to new locations or quests. I also added a mod that affects the dead zone in-game on your controller. There's also a few different versions of this one. This might help make the aiming feel a little bit more natural in first person in the game. For character animations, I'm actually using this one, which is relatively new. I've been liking this one so far, and before that, I used the cautious third-person animations, which are pretty similar, but also good. Just remember, if you use an animation mod like this, you do need to have the in-game third-person camera configuration installed. And obviously, if you don't have access to your Pip-Boy at the start of the game, this would be something that you'd want to install after. Otherwise, your camera is going to get all messed up when you go into third person. And to round out the main sections in this video, let's take a look at armor and weapon mods. I used the Atomic Color mods from Totec, and then I used the Cube Maps mod and then place that below all of the armor and weapon mods to see if they actually apply to some of the ones that I'm adding. I added a few weapon mods, including the T60 pistol, which is actually free on the Creation Store from Bethesda. That is the one that kind of is modeled after the pistol in the TV show that the Brotherhood uses. And I think that's the perfect segue into this new overhaul mod that I'm using for the Brotherhood. I was using this one for the longest time, and it's really good, but I wanted to switch it up. Chain That Binds is a light overhaul for the Brotherhood. And there's some cool attention to detail with this one. Attention to detail in that you can see like the different groups within the Brotherhood, and it's actually kind of funny to see them all together at times, just given how the chapters in the Brotherhood of Steel usually interact. There's new patches, new uniforms, and there's a little bit more variety among all of the Brotherhood of Steel members. And that is going to do it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Had a lot of fun putting this one together. Stay tuned if you want to see the list in game, and don't forget about that spreadsheet in the description with links to all those mods on Bethesda.net. That way you can read mod descriptions if you're unsure of something. But with that, I will see you all in the next video. Happy modding. Bye.